Well, you are a rare parrot teacher. A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours. I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so a good continuer. But keep your way, in God's name, I have done. You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old. That is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato, has invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays an occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart. If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty. I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you. Please, your grace, lead on. Your hand, Leonato, we will go together. Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato? I noted her not, but I looked on her. Is she not a modest young lady? Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex? No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment. Why, if faith methinks she's too low for high praise, too brown for fair praise, and too little for great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other but as she is, I do not like her. Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her. Would you buy her, that you inquire after her? Can the world buy such a jewel? Yeah, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack, who tell us Cupid is a good hair finder, and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song? In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on. I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you? I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife. Is it come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man that he will wear his cap with the star? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again go to her faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sign away Sundays? Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you. What secret hath held you here, that you followed not to Leonato's? I would your grace would constrain me to tell. I charge thee on my allegiance. You hear, Count Claudio, I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance. Mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's point. Mark how short his answer is with Hero, Leonato's short daughter. If this were so, so were it uttered. Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed God forbid it should be so. If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise. Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy. You speak this to fetch me in, my lord. By my troth I speak my thought, and in faith, my lord, I spoke mine. And by my two faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine. That I love her, I feel. That she is worthy, I know. That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake. Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the spite of duty, and never could maintain his part but in force of his will. That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a reed chase, winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none, and the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor. I shall see thee ere I die to look pale with love. With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I would get again with drinking. Take out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of flying Cupid. Well, if ever thou dost fall from his faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument. If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me, and he that hits me, like him clapped on the shoulder and called Adam. Well, as the time shall fly, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke. The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me by vilely painted and in such great letters as they write, here is good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict the married man. If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be hornman. Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this short week. I look for an earthquake too, then. Well, you will temporize at the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation. I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you to the tuition of God from my house if I had it. The 6th of January, your loving friend Benedict. Nay, mock not, the body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on either. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you. My liege, your highness now may do me good. My love is thine to teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good. Hath Leonato any son, my lord? No child but Hero, she is his only heir. Doth thou affect her, Claudio? Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that life but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I'm returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant in their rooms, come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to wars. Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her, and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was it not to this end that thou beganest to twist so fine a story? How sweetly you do minister to love, that know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise. What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. What will service fit? 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy I know we shall have reviewing tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and there in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with a force and stronger encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice let us put it presently. How now, brother, where is my cousin your son? Hath he provided this music? He is very busy about it, but brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of. Are they good? As the event stamps them, but they have a good cover, they shall show well outward the Prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick pleached alley in mine orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The Prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance, and if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time